Hey, Cub fans! Thanks for joining us here on Cubs 24/7, where Randy talks Cubs with delight and unwavering optimism. We're talking about Mike Tauchman today. Very interesting player is Mike Tauchman, and had a good year with the Cubs in 2023. I think there's no question about it. Played stellar defense, timely hitting, veteran presence. Just really nice job by Mike Tauchman. The question, though, is how do we use Tauchman moving forward? He's 33 years old, and what do we expect? In fact, the question that I'm trying to answer is what do we expect Mike Tauchman to do in 2024? Is he going to perform the same? Are we going to get pretty much the same production out of Mike that we got in 2023? Or because of his age, are we going to see a little bit of possible regression? Did he hit the ceiling last year? Is there actually more to Mike Tauchman? And I think those are questions that I think will be answered just by Mike. But we're sitting here going, well, you got Pete Crow Armstrong, you've got Mike Tauchman, who is currently listed as the backup in the depth chart. So Cubs have Mike Tauchman listed backing up PCA, also backing up Happ in left and Seiya in right. So Tauchman is clearly at this point our fourth outfielder. And I'm just kind of curious. I've been thinking a lot about it the last couple of days. What can we expect from Mike Tauchman? And I thought one of the best ways to start to predict the future is kind of look at the past. So I started digging into Tauchman's past. We're going to go through it. It's really incredible who he is. And after going through it and looking at these splits and really breaking it down, I'm more optimistic now than I was before I started the project here. So I want you guys to get on the same page with me. So let's walk through Mike Tauchman. Michael Robert Tauchman, 33 years old, born on December 3rd, 1990. Palatine, the Palatine Bomber from Palatine, Illinois. In high school, he played baseball. He was also the quarterback and the safety on the football team, and you can kind of see that with him. He's kind of a thick man, very aggressive. I can see him playing some quarterback and safety. In his senior year, he hit .490 and was his league's player of the year his senior year. And he famously was matched up in a football game his senior year with a team whose quarterback was Jimmy Garoppolo. And Talk led a second-half comeback to beat Jimmy Garoppolo's team. And I know that I've heard stories about Talk. He likes to tell that story. Why wouldn't he? I'd tell it too. Talk wasn't drafted coming out of high school, so he goes to Bradley in the Missouri Valley. And in 2013, his senior year, he hit .425 with Bradley. It was the best batting average in Division I that year. He hit .513 in conference play, was second in the conference and led the conference with .513. Scored 52 runs, had 15 doubles, 28 stolen bases in 30 attempts. He was the 2013 Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year. He was first-team All-American, MVC, Missouri Valley Conference All-Defensive Team. That's pretty good college career for Talk, right? That's pretty good. So I guess my point is, as we go through it, Mike Tauchman has had a lot of success, and there's been a lot of consistency in what his numbers produce. Tends to be a high on base guy, not a lot of pop. In fact, if Tauchman had more power, he'd really be somebody, because he's defensively he's really good, always has been. He's got a good on base percentage, always has. But just lacks that pure power that I think a lot of people would want in an outfielder. But he leaves Bradley after just a stellar career. So in 2013, he's drafted by the Rockies. Rockies take him in the 10th round. He immediately gets sent to Tri-City, where he plays with the Dust Devils. For the Dust Devils, he hits .297 with a .388 on base and a .377 slug. So high average, high on base, not a lot of slug. But he was an all-star for that Northwest League midseason. Starts off pretty good. 2014, he plays for Tri-City and then gets moved up to the High A Modesto Nuts. Combined in 2014, Mike hits .293 with a .384 on base percentage, a little more slug at .437. So here we are 2 seasons into his minor league career. What he did in high school, what he did in college, 2 seasons, pretty consistent. At Tri-City and with the Modesto Nuts, he had 222 ABs with a really good slash line. So, 2015, gets promoted to AAA, goes to New Britain, plays for the Rock Cats. What's he hit? .294, .355 with a .381. Postseason All-Star in 2015. Nothing to it, huh, Mike? 2016 gets promoted to AAA, plays for the Albuquerque Isotopes. He hits .286, .342 on base, .373 slug. That's about what Talk does, looks like. When the season was over, he goes to Venezuela, and in 2016 plays in the Venezuela Winter League, hits .269 with a .343 on base, .328 slug in 31 games. 2017 rolls around, another promotion. It's been like high school, great college career, rookie ball, triple 1A, 2A, 3A, just clicking right along every year. It's going really well for Talk. 2017, he gets signed to the Isotopes. He hits .331, .386 on base, and a .555 slug. He was an all-star 2017. 420 at-bats in that slash line. June of 2017, late June, he gets called up to the Rockies. Made his debut in late June of 17 for the Rockies. And for the Rockies that year, he goes 6 for 27. So at this point, things are going well. Talk is, had a solid career, progressing right along, moving right along. Makes his appearance in the show in 2017. 2018, he starts the season back in Albuquerque, where he hits .323 with a .408 on base percentage and a .571 slug. Talk hits 20 home runs, has 81 RBIs, and is an all-star again. In 2018, he played 21 games with the Rockies, but it didn't go well. He went 3 for 22. So that was his first really, we'll earmark that. 2018, he comes up and goes 3 for 22. It didn't go well. But his minor league career, at this point, he's played 278 games in center field, 208 games in left, and 120 games in right. So primarily a center fielder. His minor league career slashes, .303 average, .375 on base, and a .453 slug in 2,358 ABs. It's quite a career so far for Mr. Talk. Beginning of 2019, in March of 23rd, the Rockies trade Mike to the Yankees. So spring training breaks. Mike has made the Yankees opening day roster in 2019. 2019 is the best season, professional season, that Mike has had. So I'll walk you through what he did with the Yankees in 2019. He played in 87 games for the Yankees. He hit .277, on base at .361, and slugged over 5 at .504. He hit 13 home runs and had 47 RBI. He led the Yankees team in pitches per at bat, 4.34. Mike's on base percentage has always been good. He's always had a good eye, good plate discipline. That's one of the things I really like about him. He finished second in the American League in balls hit the opposite way, 35.3%, going oppo. That season, he played 473 innings in left field, played 122 innings in right, played 100 in center. So primarily a center fielder in the minors, and then his first kind of year with the Yankees, he played in left field. He's capable of playing all three, clearly. Mike is a really good outfielder. Then 22 comes. 22 was the COVID season, so everybody was a little disheveled. But Mike had a shoulder injury, and he was hampered the whole year. So he only had 95 at-bats in 2020 at 242. Still 342 on base with a 305 slug. So power was down, which makes sense. So 2020 was a little bit of a setback for Mike based on what he had done in 2019. So in 2021, the Yankees trade Mike to the Giants on April 27th. And he played great defense, but after 152 at-bats with the Giants, he was hitting .178. Great defense, making stellar plays. Always his defense has been there, We're starting to get a little bit of hiccup in some of his offensive performance, but defensively really never wavered. But after 152 at-bats in 2021 with the Giants, he gets designated for assignment. He cleared waivers and then outrighted back to AAA Sacramento River Cats on July 29th. At the end of that season, October of 13, Mike became a free agent. So he's like, well, he's had a taste of it, had a look at it, went free agent, looking for some options. Well, on December 9th, he signed with the Hanwha Eagles of the KBO for $1 million. Can't blame Mike. I'll go to Korea for $1 million if I'm Mike Tauchman in 2021. So he does. So he goes over to Korea to play baseball for $1 million. In 2022, he did really well. With the Eagles, he slashed .289, had a .366 on base, and a .403 slug, 12 home runs, and 575 at-bats. Mike Tauchman was an all-star in Korea. That's about what you'd expect. That's what they paid him for. Mike gave him exactly what they paid him to do. Paid him to do those numbers. That's what he did. Stellar defense as usual. In 2023, after playing in Korea, he comes back, and on January 13th, Cubs signed him to a minor league contract. So he started the season, broke camp, started the season in Iowa, played 24 games, hit .279 with a .427 on base, .427 and a .443 slug. Got called up May 19th. May 19th, 2023, here comes Talk to Wrigley. It was great, too, hometown boy. I was happy with it. Talk in 2023 for the Cubs. What do you do? I had a good year. I mean, you look back on it, he was a very important cog, and again, good veteran presence. I think Mike is he's a mature player. I think he's got to be great for the younger guys. His approach, the way he does it, his at bats are always pretty competitive. The way he plays defense, he's versatile. You got to kind of tip your hat to Mike Tauchman. But let's see what he did with the Cubs in 2023. He in the season had a 2.4 WAR, very solid WAR. Played in 108 games. Had 401 plate appearances, 337 at bats. Scored 64 runs with 85 hits. Had 8 home runs and 48 RBIs. Walked 56 times, struck out 86. So his strikeout to walk ratio is good. Hit .252, 363 on base, and a .377 slug. That's probably what you're going to get out of Mike Tauchman at the major league level. He's going to get on base. To me, the 363 is that's what we're looking for. You'd like to get maybe a 425, 450 slug out of him. I just don't know. 4 might be the ceiling on his slug at the major league level, but 377. So that's his slash line. That's what he did in 2023. So I wanted to go a little deeper. I'm trying to figure out how many at-bats, where does Mike perform the best. So let's do a little bit of advanced numbers. The first thing I want to tell you is overall, Mike Tauchman's advanced analytics for hitting are above Major League average. Good hitter. Specifically, his home run percentage is 2.0. It's lower than league average at 3.2. Makes sense. Mike doesn't have, he's not a power hitter. But he gets on base. So his strikeout percentage at 21.5 is better than the league average of 22.6. And his walk percentage is way better than average at 14% over league average of 8.5. So his slash, his on base, his slug, all make sense when you break down his home run, strikeout, and base on ball percentage. Mike doesn't hit the ball all that hard. His exit velocity is right at league average. Dead on league average. His percent of hard hit balls, though, are a little higher than league average. So he barrels it up a little more than the league does, but his exit velocity is right at average. His ground ball percentage is higher than league average. We'd like to get him to get it up a little more, but it's pretty close. 47% ground ball rate. His pull rate is 29.5%, which is right at league average. So he pulls right at league, but he goes oppo more often than the league does. 21.7% oppo with a 18.2% league average. I just dumped out the bucket and started going through all the nuts and bolts I could find. I'm trying to find out where's he strong, what can we predict? What about his splits? Let's take a look at his splits. He hit way more off right-handers, right? He had 345 plate appearances off of right-handed pitchers, 289 ABs. He slashed 253, 365, and 374 with 7 home runs. But that's real close to what he did. That's what he does off righties. What's he do against lefties? Here's what I find really interesting. Only 56 plate appearances against lefties compared to 345 against righties. So Cubs didn't put him in against lefties that much. That turned into 48 at bats. Maybe we need to rethink it. Mike hit 250 against his lefties. His on base percentage was 395, and he slugged 396. So yeah, he actually hit better, higher on base percentage, higher slug against left-handed pitchers. Mike Tauchman, probably, bears down more, shortens up a little bit, but he still slugged 396 compared to 374 against righties. But he got on base against lefties 395 compared to 365 righties. Tauchman hit lefties. Because I was thinking, well, before I did all this, my thought was Mike probably has got a pretty decent split. Maybe we just need to play him against righties. Dude hit lefties. Remember, he had some leadoff ABs too, so I broke those down. He wasn't really good in the leadoff spot. Looking back, it's like they tried him there. Thought high on base percentage, but it really didn't translate. That leadoff spot changes dudes. It's hard. We've been searching we're still looking for a leadoff guy. And you would think, right, you'd look, Talk's at 395 on base, not huge slug, puts the ball in play, low strikeout rate. You'd think he'd be a good leadoff man. Wasn't. In his leadoff slot in 2023, he only hit .192. 192 average, sub 200, below the Mendoza line off in the leadoff hole. Got on base 333, still decent, and only slugged 327. So his splits are like way lower in that leadoff spot. It'll mess with your mind. You see it all the time. Mike Tauchman, my God, I'm impressed with the career, just the consistency. Like almost year in, year out, you can kind of book it. Maybe he's not what you want power-wise, but I think you can pretty much count on what Talk's going to bring. Defensively, we know he's good, right? So in 2023 with the Cubs, he played 81 games in center, made 3 errors with a .980 fielding percentage. He played 10 games in right, 1 error, and played 4 games in left, didn't make any errors. He's got a career fielding percentage in .986 with 7 E's. I mean, dude can play defense. I'm not worried about that. I like him. He can be in the outfield for me anytime. I like Talk out there. Question is, boy, what's he going to do? 2024, the projections for Talk, if you look at just sort of the natural progressions from that age bracket, you'll project a little more power. They project Talk at 10 home runs. So maybe get older, gets a little stronger, figures out how to lift it more. I don't know. But Mike Tauchman's going to be interesting. I like him. The question that I have, this is just me, is Mike Tauchman good enough to be an everyday center fielder on a championship team? To me, that's the question. And that's where I'm not sure. I'm like, well, he's really good. I can see him really being a cog in a championship team. But is he everyday caliber, 155 starts in center field for a championship team? And that I don't know. And what's he going to do in 2024? It's probably going to be in this ballpark. Whether he clicks up a notch or drops a little bit, we'll see. But I think we can pretty much count on it. So he's kind of that guy. I definitely want him on the roster. But my question is that do I just give him the keys and let him run? Maybe you give him the keys. Let him see what happens. If he gets any kind of help with those kind of numbers, you don't lead him off. Put him down, probably 7th. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Mike Tauchman, though. Tremendous career from high school all the way through. Very seldom do you see that kind of consistency from the start. We're talking 14, 15 years of that's what he's been doing. So, Mike Tauchman, good Cub, good guy. I like him. I like his presence. I like his maturity. I like his approach at the plate. I like his ability to take pitches. I like his ability to play in the moment too. I like his ability to have an at bat that the situation requires. There's not a lot of that anymore. I think Talk brings that. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting season for Mike. We're all rooting for him. And hopefully he has another fantastic 24 season in a Cub uniform. So Mike Tauchman, we'll look forward to following him this year. All right, that's all we have for today, boys and girls. Thanks for joining us here on Cubs 24/7, where Randy talks Cubs. And we'll see you very soon. And go Cubs, go.